So I'm going to be looking at number 6 and number 5 on the top 10 most valuable weapons in PUBG Mobile. And the first came off the rank is my favorite Thunder Run AR, the M762. Let's check it out now. Uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom. That's right, it's time to get to the BERYL M762, number 6 on our best 10 weapons in PUBG Mobile list, updated for quarter 1, 2021. The M762 is the 762 crate weapon that's in a world drop. And I'm going to break down why it's so good. It's controversial for a lot of people because the player base is pretty much addicted to 5.56 ARs. And so much of the player base doesn't know how to adapt their playstyle to anything other than a 5.56 AR. But the M762 has an absolutely filthy reputation for a reason. It's Choco Taco's go-to PC love child, and it is my absolute favorite AR in the game. Let's talk a little bit about why this is so strong outside of the numbers. I know we will get to the numbers, but I want you to imagine that PUBG Mobile is scissors, rock, paper. And you know that most of the time there is an antidote for every weapon. But then understand that 80% of the player base is always going to go rock with the M416. So they're always running, that guy's got a SCAR-L, you know, like they're always going to be running a 5.56 AR. So if you know that most of the player base is doing rock, why wouldn't you go paper so that you can smash them, right? And that's what the BERYL M762 does. Launching it, baby. No one full sends like a Tom CKL. Because the M762 has the same rate of fire as an M416, but it has 45.9 base damage versus the 40.9 base damage of the M416. And that means that when you are in a confrontation versus someone running a 5.56 AR, you are just hitting that much harder. You're hitting 12.5% harder, basically, than an M416. And it is nowhere near as difficult to control the BERYL as people make out or are led to believe. Have a look at this clip here and you'll see how the BERYL's stopping power is so important when you're in these clutch situations. And nearly everyone in the squad that I'm fighting here has an M416. Nearly everyone. And an M416 is a fantastic weapon, but this just does CQC better. And we haven't even started to talk about the 90 frames per second issue that is helping the BERYL oh so much. The Groza, the Russians are confusing me again. The Groza has 0.255 seconds time to kill at 90 frames per second. It's one of the rare weapons that actually loses rate of fire when coupled with 90 frames per second. It fires faster at 60 frames than 90. At 90 frames a second, the BERYL has the same time to kill as the Groza, which is absolutely nuts. 0.255 seconds versus the 0.34 seconds for the M416. That is like a 30% time to kill difference. And that's because this is a gun that just absolutely benefits from 90 frames per second. And as more and more devices move towards a higher refresh rate, this is only going to get better. You can also put a 3X on this weapon. It runs a 3X absolutely fine and dandy. Has nowhere near as many problems as people will make out running a 3X. A lot of that has to do with what people will run on it. The common consensus seems to be from an old Wacky Jackie vid that everyone just runs the vertical foregrip, and it's not PC. This is mobile. On mobile, the angle grip is absolutely the best grip to run on the BERYL. With a compensator and an angle grip, the recoil control becomes so much easier. It's nowhere near the crazy kind of driving all over the place like a lunatic recoil that we came to expect when the BERYL first came out. And sensitivity settings being what they are and the ability to adjust them, and the fact that they absolutely fixed the iron sights on the BERYL means this gun is so easy now to pick up and just roll. And it crunches. It crunches so freaking hard. It doesn't have the shell velocity of the 5.56 ARs, but it gets to 700 meters a second. And that is enough to keep it in the race when people start smacking out the long range sprays. It's not as good, say, over 75 meters as your other weapons like an M4 or an AUG or a G36C. But what it lacks in that long-range spray ability, it makes up for in CQC. And at some point in the match, you are going to have to beat someone inside of 10 meters. And when that needs to happen, you want to have a gun like this. When they're at a long, long way away, you want to have a gun like this. This is the M24. And as most of you will know who've watched the channel for a while, this is my great joy, sniping. It's the reason that I really play the game. Racking up stupid long bombs that make me smile, that make my socks roll up and down. The M24 is the first entry in the list for a bolt-action sniper rifle, but obviously with the AWM existing, it won't be the last. The reason this is in here and not the Mosin Nagant or the Kar98K is quite simple. It has a higher bullet speed than the Kar98K and does more damage than both of those weapons. You couple those facts together and you just have an absolutely dangerous gun that is capable of taking people out at extreme ranges with single shots. And the reason that I really find this quite ironic is that in the same way that I talk about the BERYL M762 benefiting from everyone running a 5.56 AR, the sniper rifles benefit in just the same way. Watch this little series of engagements here. I don't have a helmet and I don't have a vest. There is a guy on my right and there is a guy on my left. I'm going to use the event skills and get that guy cleared out, and then I'm going to push back to the guy on my left. I'm going to hard peek, and I'm going to bet on my ability as a sniper to just clear this target. I'm just going to let him hard peek and shoot me. He's going to use a 5.56 AR, and I'm going to use that gun right there. And I could not take more than one shot, but I made it a one-shot trade-off. And in a one-shot trade-off, the M24 will absolutely rip anyone apart that is spraying with a 5.56 AR. Of course, the caveat on this is that you need to know how to shoot. If you're no good at hitting headshots with the M24, you're going to spend a lot of time healing back up. But if you can learn to hit your shots, snaps, quick pullbacks, headshots, big body shots at range on running targets, then this weapon becomes an incredibly effective little bit of kit. The reason it's so good damage-wise, well, the M24 is just under the AWM in the pantheon of sniper rifles. It will hit a level 3 helmet for 94.5. That means if the target is not completely 100% healed up and they peek you, they're going to get ripped. As long as they have less than 5% missing from their health, they're going to be just okay. The Kar98K and the Mosin do 88.9 and 88.65 respectively. We'll reverse that round. And that means that there's a bigger margin for error. You can poke a Kar98K and take a hit at 90 hit points. You do that with an M24, you're dead. The M24 will also just put more damage out into a body shot. It'll do 76.38 on a level 1 vest. The Kar9 will do 71.2. The difference here is just pure damage output. And then you get the bullet speed, 810 meters a second for an M24, which is right in line with the kind of bullet speed you get just sub an M416 or a SCAR-L, and you're suddenly talking about a target that's much easier to lead. Kar9 is under that at 789. And while that's only 21 meters, it's still an advantage, and it still means that this does more damage and hits its shots easier. The M24 was originally wasn't a well drop in PUBG Mobile when the game first came out. We used to get this out of crates. You could get an M24 or you could get an AWM. Either way, I love this weapon, and it's one of the main reasons I play PUBG Mobile is this map combined with this weapon. There is no way of putting this or sugarcoating it. The player base is pretty stupid when it comes to dealing with sniper rifles. There are so many people that just don't use them, run gyro and such, that they don't really appreciate the effectiveness of them, and they keep peeking people with bolt actions. And as long as that's a thing and that keeps happening, the M24 is going to stay in my top 10. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you want to see the other videos, There is a playlist here. If you want to see the stats and the numbers, or just join my Discord server and go and chat to people. There's like 10,500 people on the Discord server. Links are in the description below. And as always, stay safe on the battlefield and be nice to your mum. Bye for now.